I was alone at the gas station at 3 a.m. when the bell rang. I looked up, and there she was. I looked up, and there she was. A woman, pale as death, her eyes locked on me like she'd been waiting. She'd been coming every night, same time, same silence. But tonight, she smiled. Welcome to Friday the 13th, where every story is real, pulled straight from the shadows. I'm Caleb, and this happened to me in November 2020 at a crumbling gas station on Route 19, northern Maine. I've got the receipts, the shaky footage, the nightmares that still wake me. Stay with me. This one's gonna crawl under your skin.
Let's go back to November 2020. I was 24, broke, and stuck in a nowhere town. I was 24, broke, and stuck in a nowhere town called Millinocket, Maine. I dropped out of trade school 6 months earlier, couldn't handle the hours, couldn't afford the tools. I've been scraping by on odd jobs, shoveling snow for neighbors, hauling junk for a guy down the street. But the bills kept piling up. Rent was late, my truck needed gas I couldn't buy, and I was down to eating instant noodles and the last of my canned soup. I was desperate. Then I saw it, a posting online. Overnight clerk, $17. Overnight clerk, $17 an hour. Route 19 gas and go. No experience needed, just reliable transport and a strong stomach. It was 40 minutes out, a speck on a map surrounded by pine trees, snowdrifts, and nothing else. I figured, work nights, sleep days, easy money. I didn't think twice. I called the number right away. A guy named Ray picked up his voice. A guy named Ray picked up, his voice rough, like he'd smoked a pack a day for 40 years. You start tonight, he said. No questions, no interview. Show up at 9:45 p.m., don't be late. I asked about the last clerk. Why'd he leave? Ray coughed, then muttered. Couldn't handle the quiet. Something about his tone felt off, like he was holding back, but I was too broke to care. I grabbed my coat, scraped the ice off my truck's windshield, and headed out. The drive was long. The road was long. The road a winding snake through the woods, snow piling on the shoulders. I kept the radio on to calm my nerves. Some old country station, crackling but steady. But as I got closer to Route 19, the signal started fading, replaced by static. I smacked the dashboard. Come on, don't die on me. It didn't help. The static grew louder, a low hiss that made my skin prickle. I pulled into the lot at 9:40 p.m., my truck rattling as I shut it off. The station looked like it hadn't been touched since the 80s. Peeling paint, faded signs for the door. The paling paint, faded signs for cigarettes, a rusted payphone by the door. The air smelled of pine and frozen earth, sharp against my lungs. Ray was waiting out front, bundled in a parka, a cigarette glowing between his fingers. He looked me up and down, handed me a heavy ring of keys, his hands trembling. Not from the cold, I realized later. Stock the shelves, run the register, lock the doors. After 1 a.m., he said. Folks don't stop much. He pointed to a back room door, rusted and padlocked, and added, don't bother with that, ain't worth the trouble. Then he clapped me on the shoulder, hard. Good luck, kid. His eyes flicked to the woods across the road, then back to me, and he left without another word. Last of all, I-17. I should have asked questions. I didn't. The first few hours were uneventful, just me and the hum of the lights. I organized the candy aisle, Snickers, Milky Ways, all coated in a thin layer. Snickers, Milky Ways, all coated in a thin layer of dust, then counted the till, $23.47 in crumpled bills and change. The cooler in the back buzzed louder than the radio, which kept fading in and out. I tried to stay busy, mopping the linoleum floor, its stains too deep to scrub out. The air felt heavy, like the whole place was holding its breath. Around 2 a.m., I heard a thud, soft from the tail. Around 2 a.m., I heard a thud, soft, muffled, from outside. I froze, mop in hand, listening. The wind, I told myself, just the wind. But it came again, rhythmic, like footsteps on gravel. I crept to the window, peered out. The lot was empty, just my truck parked under the flickering sodium light. Snow swirled in the glow, but nothing moved. I shrugged it off, went back to mopping. But the feeling lingered, like I was being watched. At 3 a.m. sharp, the bell above the door chimed. I froze mid-swipe. The bell above the door chimed. I froze mid-swipe. The doors were locked. Ray's rule after 1 a.m. How did ring? I looked up, and there she was, standing just outside the glass door. A woman, thin and pale, in a gray dress that hung too long, the hem brushing the ground. Her hair was wet, plastered to her face, even though the snow wasn't melting on her. Her eyes were big, dark, unblinking, boring into me. I forced a smile, my voice shaky. "We're closed," I called through the glass. She didn't move, just stared, her gaze pinning me like a bug on a board. My chest tightened. Ever lock eyes with something that doesn't feel alive? That was her.
She stayed there, maybe 2 minutes, then turned and walked into the snow. I ran to the window, heart hammering. No footprints. No sound. Just gone. I told my story. No footprints. No sound. I checked the lot, nothing but my truck, the engine still warm from the drive. I told myself it was a local. A prank, but my hands wouldn't stop trembling. I double-checked the locks, even though I knew they were secure. Something primal screamed that locks wouldn't help tonight.
She came back the next night. 3 a.m., right on the dot, standing by the pumps. Same gray dress, same unblinking stare. I didn't open the door, just watched her through the glass. My breath fogging the window. She didn't move for 10 minutes, then walked into the dark. Night 3, she was at the window, her fingers pressed to the glass, leaving no smudge. No warmth, no trace. I found scratches on the door the next morning. Shallow, erratic, like someone had clawed at it with nails. Night 4, she got inside. I don't know how she got inside. I don't know how. I'd locked everything, but there she was, by the coffee machine, 10 feet away. The air turned icy, the lights dimmed, and I smelled it. Wet dirt, decay, like something had crawled out of the ground. I yelled, "Get out!" My voice cracked, but she didn't flinch, just watched me, her head tilting at an odd angle, like a puppet on broken strings. I grabbed a broom, swung it like a bat, hit nothing. She vanished, but the cold lingered, sinking into my bones. Night 5. I brought a flashlight, checked the back room. Night 5. I brought a flashlight, checked the back room. Locked, but the handle was freezing, like it'd been dipped in ice. I heard it then, a soft, slow laugh, coming from behind the door. I backed away, heart pounding, and didn't sleep that morning. I started dreading 3 a.m., knowing she'd be there, waiting. Night 6, she was closer, at the edge of the counter, her fingers twitching like she wanted to reach for me. I stopped sleeping right, kept seeing her eyes in the dark, hearing that laugh in my head. I told Ray. He laughed hoarse and fake. "Snow plays tricks. Snow plays tricks," he said, but I wasn't buying it. The cameras glitched when she appeared, static, then black. I started a journal. 3 a.m., woman, gray dress. Night 7, I heard scratching from the back room again, louder this time, like nails on wood. I didn't dare check. Night 8, the lights flickered harder when she stepped in, and I saw my breath, frosty, like the air had dropped to 0. I was losing it, but my gut screamed she wasn't human, not anymore. I had to know who, or what, she was. On my day off, I drove to the county library in Bangor, combed through decades of news. It took hours, but I found it, November 8, 88. Jane J9, Jane 4. Jane woman found dead near Route 19 gas station. Jane Doe, mid-27, drowned in a ditch half a mile away. No ID, no family. The photo was grainy, but those eyes, hers, big and dark, staring out from the page. I kept digging. Another hit, 1976. A clerk disappeared from the same station, left a note about a woman in gray. 1955. A fire killed 3 workers, cause unknown. All tied to that cursed place. I went to the diner in town, asked an old cashier about Jane. He remembered her. She begged for help, he said, voice low. She begged for help, he said, voice low.
Kept saying something was after her. He wouldn't say more, just shook his head. I showed Ray the articles. He went pale, muttered, "Some things don't rest. Leave it, kid." But I couldn't. I started asking around. Old-timers, truckers, anyone who'd talk. One guy, a retired logger named Hank, said the station was built on bad ground. "Something's been there longer than us," he whispered. "Something's been there longer than us," he whispered, his hands shaking around his coffee mug. He told me about the old logging camps, how workers vanished in the 30s, always in November, always after hearing whispers in the woods. I didn't sleep that night either.
Friday 13, fam. Ever felt a presence that won't quit? Something that makes your blood that won't quit? Something that makes your blood run cold? Drop it in the comments. I need to know I'm not alone here. Night 9. I was a wreck, jumping out. I was a wreck, jumpy, hollowed out, one shift from breaking. I brought a tire iron, kept it under the counter, told myself I'd fight if I had to. The clock hit 3 a.m. and the bell rang. She was there, right in front of me, inches away. Her face was wrong, too sharp, too still, smiling with teeth that didn't fit, jagged and stained. "What do you want?" I croaked. She leaned in, her breath cold and sour, like rot from a grave. "Stay," she rasped. I swung the tire iron, hit nothing but air. She vanished, but the lights died, plunging the store into darkness. I heard her laugh, low, guttural, echoing from the back room. I ran, left, guttural, echoing from the back room. I ran, left the keys, the cash, everything. Drove home shaking, her laugh ringing in my ears. I quit at dawn, packed my truck, moved south to Augusta, got a desk job, swore off graveyards, but she's still here. I wake at 3 a.m., heart pounding, feeling her stare. I see her in reflections, gas station windows, my rearview mirror, always just out of reach. Last month, I checked the news. Another clerk vanished. Another clerk vanished from Route 19. No trace. It's not over. That station's cursed, and I brought something with me. I keep my journal, the footage, proof it was real. If you're ever on Route 19 and see a light in the fog, don't stop. She's waiting. That's my story. Every detail real, every fear still alive. If you've got a tale from the dark, night shifts, empty roads, anywhere the shadows, drop it in the comments. I'll read them all. I'll read them all. I swear. Like if this chilled you, subscribe for more, and share your own nightmare. The best ones hit the next video. This is Friday 13. Stay safe. The night's watching.